And this tool is new for GPA 3. When I pause the application, it does a grab of everything, of all the diagnostics for that CPU's frame. Rather than tracking what the GPU was doing, now it's looking purely at what the CPU is doing. And what we have is different threads. For each thread, you can actually look at what was going on. So we can see here that on the CPU, we're rendering frame 224. In this particular case, one of the actual threads from the game was responsible for doing things like, if I highlight it, the DirectX percent, or we can even see the actual lock rectangles. Very simple sample. If you were writing your game, what you would do is you'd start putting in instrumentation yourself, and then you'd actually mark where your frame started and finished, and you'd be able to see at what points you were doing the D3D calls. This is actually free. We have instrumented the DirectX driver at this point. Things like thread building blocks comes with pre-instrumentation, so if you're using a game with thread building blocks, as soon as you open up this view, you would see all the individual things from the actual thread building blocks show up automatically. You could actually figure out effectively the concurrency for all the things in your application. I can zoom all the way out and see many, many frames, or I could just zoom all the way down onto an individual frame. Little things you might be able to find out is if you're actually forcing a flush because the GPU is waiting for the CPU, or vice versa. You could actually find out if you were running so quickly that you were actually building up lots and lots of frames to render, and you were taking time to actually get to rendering something that had already been submitted on the CPU.